In the past, we've talked about the KTX-1, the first generation of high-speed trains on Korail in South Korea, and we were generally left with an extremely positive view on the train and journey. Now, it's time to look at their third generation of trains, as me and my family had the honor of riding their newest train, the KTX-Cheongryong, also known as the Korail Class 160,000 or EMU 320. Let's see if it's any better or worse. So, what are we waiting for? Let's try out Korail's KTX-Cheongryong Seoul to Busan service. Please forgive me if I ended up butchering the Korean language there. Why, hello everyone. I do hope you're all well. It's your good man Addy, otherwise known as Trainman 305, accompanied with my amazing family. And as you can see, we're currently in a taxi in Busan. And as we can see the amazing sun setting in the distance, because of a bunch of road work in the city, we're actually running late for a train we need to catch. A reminder to always check roadworks before you leave to go somewhere. Thank you. Courtesy of the amazing driver showing us some shortcuts, we don't really have very long. I want to say like maybe 10 minutes before our train actually leaves. So let's enter the back entrance through Busan, check the departure board quickly, and yes, we are one of the trains leaving like soon, so we better get going. And since I'm about to start running, let's quickly talk about Busan. Busan is South Korea's second largest city, serving as the nation's primary maritime gateway with the world's sixth busiest container port. Located on the southern tip of the peninsula, this scenic coastal city is known for its dramatic mountains, bustling markets, and popular beaches like Hyundai. My family and I had an amazing time here, and I would love to explore more of the city if I ever get a chance to visit again. Busan Station is the primary transportation hub in South Korea's southern area, serving as the southern terminus for the KTX Gyeongbu from Seoul. Inaugurated in its current form in 2003, it is a massive modern glass-fronted structure connected to Busan's Metro Line 1, acting as the main gateway for visitors to the city. But for me and my family, it's our ticket for heading back to Seoul and trying out the KTX-Cheongryong.
This way.
Due to a variety of construction errors, lines, technical standards over the past few decades, the South Korean railway network has a mixture of heights across their stations, meaning that some trains like our Cheongryong are required to have steps to cope with the various platform heights.
Cool.
Oh, and before I forget, we're in first class, normally known as superior class, so let me quickly show you around my seat before we get going. Right off the bat, there's a new wireless charging feature. To the right of me, there's two control buttons to control the recline of the seat to your liking. Next to that, there's the channel volume control for the onboard entertainment, and if you're not into the news, just browse the internet or YouTube with the new touchscreens, if the Wi-Fi works properly. To the right and under my armrest, there's a USB-A, USB-C, and 220-volt Type 3 socket. You also get a nice big tray table and an adjustable head cushion behind, as well as a reading light above, if anyone fancies reading the onboard magazine. But I can't read Korean, and I think I'll enjoy the train instead.
What?
And with that, I'm pleased to say we leave Busan bang on time at 1912. Let's make our way to Seoul and explore the KTX-Cheongryong. The first KTX train to run between Busan and Seoul ran on April 1st, 2004, with the original KTX-1 train. The KTX-Cheongryong, however, entered service in May 2024, so just shy of 2 years ago, with the hope of being an improvement compared to the older stock. And since we're quite early into the journey, let's go ahead and check out the train's features and compare them with the KTX-1 train. After leaving first class, the door is operated by a little lever, then you're automatically met with the toilets. Do note, train toilets in South Korea are gendered into male and female toilets to protect women against harassment, specifically with strong focus on protecting women in public places. Locking the door is a manual job with this knob and hook. The sink and toilet are clean, and the tap and soak both fully work and are fully stocked. So it's pretty good in my books. Each carriage has a diagram of the entire train, with all the train's information by each door, regarding train facilities, emergency items and exits. Walking along, I also noticed the vending machine to the right of us, I'll come back to that one later, And then we enter standard class, with the main two things lacking from first class being a screen and a head cushion, so it's pretty much a good option. Continuing walking through the train, we end up coming to the accessible toilet, which also holds baby changing facilities, and we also have another vending machine because why not? One downgrade with the vending machines compared to the old trains is that there are no more snacks. How cruel can you be, I wonder? Anyway, here's a nice large luggage rack as well as wheelchair space for any disabled passengers, which is always good to see. And one more thing, when walking through the train, notice how all the seats are facing one way. This is actually a Japanese-inspired design as the seats have the ability to rotate so they face the direction of travel, but I don't really know how to rotate these seats so I can't really demonstrate it. Anyway, admiring the blackness of this tunnel, I'm gonna go get some drinks in the vending machine and head back to my seat for a bit.
Ah! Haha, got there in the end.
Admiring the beautiful sunset in the distance, it's creating an amazing view and ambience over the mountains. And as we're admiring the sky, let's admire the history of our train. The KTX-Cheongryong, also known as the Korail Class 160,000 or EMU 320, is a South Korean high-speed electric multiple unit train manufactured by Hyundai Rotem. Its creation is actually thanks to the HEMU 430X prototype from 2011. After the development of the experimental HEMU 430X, Hyundai Rotem and Korail signed multiple agreements from June to December 2016 to supply high-speed electric multiple units, the first of its kind in South Korea in revenue service. The HEMU 430X is also an electric multiple unit, but it's not for revenue service or mass production. The agreements involve the order of two variants, two 8-car EMU 320 units with an operating speed of 320 km an hour and 19 6-car units, EMU 260 units, to be delivered around 2020 to 2021, but clearly that didn't go to plan due to COVID and other factors. These trains formation consisted of 8 and 6 cars respectively, and unlike the previous generation of KTX trains, they had 2 trailer cars at each end and 6 power cars as opposed to the TGV-style power-unpowered trailer configuration. In March 2022, it was reported that 25 EMU 320s will be ordered by Korail for the KTX brand and 19 for SR Corporation for the SRT brand. The 2 pre-series sets built by Hyundai Rotem were delivered to Korail in November 2013 and began operations in May 2024, and those units are actually the ones we're on right now, and I'd say they're doing a grand job in revenue service. The model was officially named the KTX-청룡 in April 2024, where the word Cheongyong in Korean means blue dragon. This name was selected by members of the public, which signifies a blue dragon soaring vigorously to bring hope to the people, and it also matches the year of the blue dragon from 2024 according to the Korean zodiac. Oh, and the EMU 260 got renamed to the KTX Eum in 2020. Now solely on the Cheongyong, whilst the 2 units in service at present, the remaining train set ordered by Korail are scheduled to be delivered between April 2027 and March 2028, and other train sets delivered to SR Corporation from 2027 onwards. Hoping for the success of the rollout and hoping for the success of these trains in service. We have arrived to our first station, Dongdaegu. Dongdaegu is the eastern district of Daegu, functioning as the city's primary transportation hub and a major commercial center. And make sure you don't confuse it with the other station, Daegu, with some nearby attractions being Dongwasa Temple, Daegu Line Railway Bridge, and Gyeongbu River, maybe places worth visiting someday. As it's 1953, we also leave bang on time, which as a British person I must admit I'm impressed when a train leaves on time. But I think I've said this phrase before. Whilst watching the football and admiring the limiting view before the sun fully sets and turns to night, let's talk about the line we're on. For decades, the Seoul to Busan corridor has been the beating heartbeat of South Korea, housing over 70% of its population and freight. But by the late 20th century, the Gyeongbu Expressway and existing railway lines were choked with congestion. To keep the economy moving, the government knew they didn't need just more rails, they needed a technological leap. The dream began in the 1970s with feasibility studies supported by French and Japanese experts. By 1989, the project was officially greenlit. The goal? Shrink a 4-hour journey into just 90 minutes. A global battle of trains followed as South Korea called for bids. 3 giants entered the ring: France's TGV, Germans ICE, and Japanese Shinkansen. In 1992, construction finally broke ground, and by 1994, France's Alstom and the makers of TGV were selected as the technology partner. But the project wasn't easy. The 1997 Asian financial crisis forced the government to split the project into two phases. Engineering was a massive feat as well. The line required hundreds of viaducts and tunnels to cut through the Korean mountains terrain. Phase 1 opened on April 1, 2004, connecting Seoul to Daegu, and Phase 2 made the final connection all the way to Busan in 2010. The Gyeongbu high-speed railway changed Koreans' life forever. Total costs exceeding 20 trillion Korean won, but it successfully shrunk the country, bringing 95% of South Korea within a 2-hour reach of the capital. Like good old Daejeon, which has its wonderful blend of nature, science and culture, which makes it an incredible destination to see in my opinion. And we're still on time at 2037, making our way to the capital. At present, the maximum operational speed on the line is 305 km per hour. However, there are current works to increase the line speed to 320 km an hour by 2028. On top of that, our train service is one of the fastest and most direct services between Busan and Seoul, as we're on one of the fastest trains with the fewest stops, meaning our service is timetabled to just take 2 hours and 44 minutes. And imagine how much quicker it's going to be when the line speed increases. But for now, our service has slowed down. Say hello to Osong, not a station we're stopping at, but if it wasn't dark, you can see the HEMU 430X prototype train in the sidings here. The Cheongyong's mother in a weird way. Unfortunately, the reason we slowed down is because the train in front of us is running late, and therefore we'll have to crawl behind it on the final leg to the capital. Tragically means we also pick up a delay. But I'm calm, my family's calm, and it's not the worst delay at the end of the day. Now then, after we managed to pick up a bit of speed again, the sun is fully set, but at least the view out the window still looks pretty nice with all the lights from the buildings. And it's not long before we enter the southern metropolitan area of Seoul as well, so let's give the final verdict and thoughts of the train and the route. So, the Cheongryong is already a phenomenal train, but more importantly, is it a worthy replacement when compared to the other KTX trains? In standard class, yes, I fully agree it's better than the older units. Facility-wise, mostly yes as well. The toilets and increase in onboard accessibility makes the train easier to use and allows for an easier journey for all, with the only letdown being no snacks in the vending machines. But at least the prices of my drinks were okay. However, the part of the train that isn't that much of an upgrade or semi-downgrade in some cases is superior class. Whilst the overall features are better, the main downgrade are the seats themselves. They are not much better when compared to standard class, and when you compare them to the original KTX trains, they're a lot narrower and less padded, making them a lot less desirable when compared to the older stock. But when I show you the price of the ticket, you may think otherwise. Regarding the route, the KTX Gyeongbu is truly a fantastic route. On the southern section, it's crazy to think about the insane engineering that went into all the tunnels and viaducts, and the middle and northern sections of the route have insane views, both in nature and civilization. It's also fast, with the top speed of the line being 305 km per hour, as well as being the heartbeat railway line of the country. That's all I have to say about the route, to be honest. Good stuff. Anyway, as we've just ended up crossing the river, we're gonna soon pass Yeosang and actually see the train that we were stuck behind for a while. How dare you delay us, you KTX-1? The full video of the KTX-1 video is in the top right corner of the screen if anyone's interested. And since we're like one stop away from Seoul, I'll quickly talk about the price now. Me and my family ended up booking this train journey with Trip.com. Our ticket ended up costing around about 75,000 Korean won each. In standard class, the same journey would have cost you around 60,000 Korean won, which is fantastic value for money in my opinion, apart from the lack of snacks. Anyway, I'm starting to get extremely hungry and I'm gonna look for something to eat when we get to Seoul. And hey, we're here! Welcome to Seoul everyone, the capital of South Korea. Now then, my family and I are going to look for something to eat, which thankfully is easy in a city that has a lot of nightlife. For now though, I shall say 감사합니다 to all of you for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you wish to see more, and let me know what train you'd like to see me do in the comments below. Who knows, I could make your dreams come true. Otherwise, if you ever find yourself in South Korea, I definitely recommend you try and ride the Cheongryong. It primarily operates as doubles on weekends between Busan and Seoul, so hopefully it's easy to find, especially since you can find out what type of train you're boarding in this country. And on that note, I shall leave you here and let the Cheongryong make its way to Haeingsin. Turns out the Cheongryong. Take care everyone, bye bye, see you all soon.
Like,